So, hello and welcome to my next chess video. This time I show you the game between Stockfish from the 28th of January 2020. So the development version from today, Stockfish 280120, POPCNT with white versus Houdini 1.5x64a with the black pieces, and I let them play this position you see here on both sides of the board. This is a Lopez position which arises after the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, d3, d6, c3, bishop g4, h3, bishop h5 and knight d2, and bishop e7 and knight f1. In the game I played versus someone out of the internet on chess.com. I think I continued here with castling, and after castling I played sorry, I played b5, b4, so that after b5 from black my bishop can tag on b3 on this superb diagonal without worrying about knight a5. So this was my idea here. And Stockfish after the game recommended the move knight f1. b4 is not a losing move or anything, it's just inferior to the move knight f1. So let's see what happens after knight f1 in this game. So Houdini castled, and Stockfish is preparing knight g3, which was of course the idea of knight f1. Okay, of course taking is not advisable because of queen takes, and now there is this knight f5 which you have to cover, and after, let's say, bishop e3, not e2, let's say bishop e3 or g5, or no, bishop here is even better, bishop h6, rook there. Now you can attack on the king side without worrying about h5, and you can castle on the queen side, so taking is, I guess, not advisable. So after knight g3 there is this bishop bishop g6, and after bishop b3 is what Stockfish gives. There is this move. No, sorry about this. Stockfish gives bishop b3 immediately. Now, his top recommendation, bishop b3, followed up with d5 anyway. And now knight g3, queen e2, covering the pawn, not worrying about a queen exchange. And stuff like this. This is one line Stockfish gives, but I think knight g3 what is better. Now Stockfish changed to knight g3 again, bishop g6 and knight h4, going after the bishop immediately, knight h4, followed up with d5 and queen e2 probably, d5 and queen e2, d5, queen e2, ed, knight takes g6, knight takes ed, knight takes g6, and now you have to recapture, probably h takes, h4, d5, queen e2, probably h takes, and now you recapture with the pawn. And you can go bishop e3 next, followed up with castling and stuff like this. So this is one idea. So d5 here, I wouldn't do that actually. I would go castling here, but then knight d3, stopping knight h6 and preparing f5. I'm not sure. So maybe knight h4 is good. d5, queen d2, takes, knight takes, h takes, g takes, and then let's say b5. b5. After bishop here, there's this knight a5. Okay, bishop here. No, not bishop there. So I would go bishop b2. Knight a5 is not possible because the e-pawn is not attacked. So I would go bishop c2, take the bishop away for later. Now knight h4 does make sense, kind of, still, because it prepares this move b5, and knight c4 is in the air. So let's cover this with the move b3, then c5. Let's say bishop b2, queen c7 or something, castles, rook fd8, rook fd1, and I think this is kind of good position for both sides. So this is possible. This is one idea in that game. The other one I also thought about is g4. Here in that position, g4, and then knight g3. With the king still in the center, it's not. Or knight e3. Knight e3 looks also quite nice. Knight e3. Preventing d5. Takes, knight takes. No, d5 is not possible. After b4 you go there, and after knight a5 you just let the bishop stay here. Play bishop d2, and after knight takes you have queen takes, still covering the d5 square, and you can castle queenside and go after the king that way. So d5. So let's see, queen b6 or queen c7 or something. h4, let's say h5 here. You could, yeah, well, taking is the only option to gain anything here. Bishop takes, and rook b3. Doubling on the g file, so let's say c5. Takes, queen d2. Is d5 now on the cards? d5, pawn takes d5, knight takes. No, it's not on the cards. Anyway, there was an option here. After c5, takes queen here. Okay, the queen is covering the pawn. But you could, after takes, go knight takes e4. This is also an option. I'm taking like that, taking like that. But this looks pretty ugly for white. So, but we have g4. Wow, g4. Bishop h6. Most probably in knight e3. Bishop h5, g6. Knight g3 is what Stockfish gives after that. Knight g3. So knight g3. Going after the f5 square. So let's say h5 immediately. Or let's just say b5 and bishop here followed up with d5. Queen d2, pawn takes. You could go knight takes here. Could also go pawn takes, which is probably better. Pawn takes. Knight h5. Okay, leaving the bishop there. Not quite sure if you should castle here or play bishop e3 or bishop d2. Bishop c2. Probably just castling. Let's say knight takes. At some point you should take it anyway. And c5. bishop e3 and h5. Well, after h5 you have the option of closing everything up. Still the knight can come here, and after bishop takes, pawn takes, there is the possibility of just moving the knight and taking on h5. So there are options. Bishop g6 is, I think, forced. Houdini shouldn't think that much, but let's see both evaluations right around here. Stockfish gives it as better for white. Houdini thinks it's kind of equal. I also think it's kind of equal. But let's see some deep tricks here. This is interesting, this g4. So let's say white tries to break with f6. Black tries to break with f6. No, knight f5, I think takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes is not enough for anything here. So you kind of have to take it, right? Then knight goes back, attacking this pawn one more time. Wait a bit. Bishop e3 is not possible because the e-pawn would hang. So you kind of have to do something else. Let's say bishop g5. Just recognize that. Bishop g5. Yeah, but then still knight takes here. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. No, it doesn't work, this tactic. So bishop g5 is on the cards. Bishop g5. What about knight takes here? Knight takes g2, pawn takes g2, bishop takes g2, knight takes e4. So also this is kind of nice for white, with the prospects of f4, f5, trapping yet another piece. No, this is not good for black. All this tactics. So bishop g5 is on the cards. Maybe h6. Bishop goes back. It's the same thing actually. Anyway, knight g5 doesn't work. Also knight e4 because of bishop takes e7. But yeah, so you can go back there. Well, knight e4, bishop here, knight takes there, bishop takes queen, knight takes here, check, king here, and rook takes bishop. So this is kind of possible. So after h6 you kind of have to take the knight, and after bishop takes you can go h4. Keep on attacking, just keep on moving pieces forward. It looks dangerous, but actually for both sides. If h4, okay, you can just grab it. Bishop has to go back, so h5 doesn't do anything. Two knights versus two bishops, so black should be better here. I think there are not much attacking options. So what after b5 you go bishop here. Now d5, queen there. Takes, knight c4, b3, stopping knight c4, c4, and bishop e3. If ever that, then that, and this is no problem for black. Well, a5 could be dangerous. Let's castle. Let's continue with a5, a3, pawn takes, rook takes, and queen c7, let's say, followed by with rook d1. Okay, there is a bad bishop here, but there is also a terrible bishop there and there. The only bishop which is not so terrible is this one. So this is very interesting, this g4 move by white. G4, knight g3. I don't actually know the ideas yet. Well, I know that Stockfish wants to attack on the queen side, on the king side, but how this is gonna work, I'm not quite sure. Bishop h. So Stockfish here is thinking about d5. Followed up with queen e2. h6, knight h4, h6, knight, no, not knight f5, knight h4. Knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, check, and then taking there, so this doesn't work. So knight coming to f5 is kind of clear. And after h6, h6, g5 is now what Stockfish thinks. h6 followed up with g5, immediately trying to open things up on the king side. Instead of d5 we had h6, and now g5, no time for that. If pawn takes and knight takes, or bishop takes seems logical enough. So d5, bishop takes here, bishop takes there, pawn takes here, no, queen takes there, and bishop can go here. No, has to keep defending the pawn. So I don't think d takes is an option here. So yeah, bishop takes, queen d2 maybe, queen e2 here, and castling queenside is very great. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, and castling queenside with d4 and the open g file. There should be some attack going on here for white. This is a great position. Also bishop d2 followed by bishop c2 followed by d4 with the mate threat over there, with rook coming to g1, castles. This is all pretty nice. This is pretty nice for white. So g5, hg knight g is the thing. hg knight g, hg knight g5 is what both engines are giving. Instead of bishop takes, knight takes. What's the idea of knight takes? hg knight g5 d5. d5 queen f3, d5 h4, h4. So immediately attacking here, h4, d takes e4, h5, attacking the bishop, just attacking the bishop. Bishop has to go back. Is there an other square? h4, h5, bishop h7, d takes e4, d takes e4. I would immediately exchange queens here. This is too dangerous. Bishop takes, but it's still dangerous. Knight coming to f4. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight f4. You need to eliminate that bishop. Bishop takes, bishop takes. So this is Stockfish's line. How to evaluate that position should be Maybe f4 as an idea. You can't get rid of this knight. There is also king takes actually. Queen takes, king takes, you don't have to fear about that. Pawn is adequately defended, and if rook d8, if rook here, then just king c2 and the king should be safe there. Then b5, bishop here attacking that pawn. So probably the other rook should come to the d file. Bishop d8, queen here, and now d5, bishop here. Still now this pawn, this rook is defended. This pawn here is defended, but you can start to undermine things with h4, with a4, I mean. So it's pretty interesting. Also bishop e3, followed up with a rook coming to the g file is nice. What is actually black doing here? Knight a4, bishop e3, knight takes. Here you can also go king takes. It's not a problem. Actually, it's really not. Keeping the structure intact. King takes. And now what do you want? Do you want maybe c5? Rook g1, c4, rook there, a5. I just wanna see how dangerous this stuff really is. b3. Okay, taking. Can always take. Oh, whoa, wait. I just spotted something here in that position. So if this, that, and now rook here, rook there, b5, bishop here. Knight d4, you can grab this, and after knight takes, you have a beautiful knight on f4, on f5. This is, I think, the main line here. Rook there. Up with h3. No, h3 is a little bit too fast. No, wait a bit. Knight takes knight f4. There is threat of the bishop with check, so the bishop would hang with check. So you can defend it, or you move it. Let's move it to f6. It looks more natural. Bishop e3, knight takes bishop, king takes bishop. This is a disgusting position to be in. Rook d8, rook g3. g3 is not on. This is just a disgusting position for black. So this endgame is correctly assessed. It's better for white. For example, let's say a5. g3, pawn here. Now you have this form pawn. Problem is actually how to continue that. It's not so simple actually. Let's say you start off by doubling. c3, let's just give some token moves. Rook there, knight here, takes. Going there, but anyway, you just lost a piece there. Takes. Now you have to move the knight, and if you move the knight, then rook here not wins stuff, but is close to I'm not sure. It just looks good for white. But how to win this is the other question. So let's go back here. We have that position on the board. h5 bishop h7, d takes e4. h5 bishop e7, d takes e4. b5 bishop b3. This is the knight takes h5. Yeah, knight takes h5 is also interesting. Knight takes h5. No, it's actually not. Giving up 2 pieces for a rook with a mate threat. So you have to eliminate the knight as well, and after bishop takes, what do you play here? Queen takes pawn, most probably. What's the continuation there? Something tells me that you should eliminate the knight. Also interesting is that, and after takes, knight f4. How do you actually do something there with black? There is the threat of queen g4. Queen there. Build up with okay, or you take the knight. What about knight f4 immediately? No. You need to cover the f3 square. Let's just go back, bishop d1. Queen here, queen there, f3. No, this doesn't work at all. Because of that. And this is disgusting. Because if you take, you get mated anyway. So why did Houdini gave up their whole piece? 2 pieces for a rook. Rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. This is the only option. You could go bishop takes knight immediately, actually. Or you can just leave it there. No, you kind of have to take the rook. Take the knight and take here. What's the point? Bishop b3, queen f3, queen here. Knight a4. No, you have to go there. No, you can't go there. The bishop is covering that square. And if you attack the bishop, then you have this disgusting little move, which threatens mate, and there is nothing to be done here. Can give that check. Can give yet another check with a rook. But that's it. Now you have to take the rook and you get mated there. So there are a lot of attacking. There is a lot of attacking potential. So why did this happen anyway? So knight f1, castles, g4, bishop there, knight g3, h6, g5 takes, knight takes, d4, h4, d takes, h5, no, knight takes h5, rook takes h5, knight takes h5, there is also knight takes h5, but we have rook takes h5. Is it so terrible, this position? Is it the case that this is just terrible? Or is there... Oh. Knight takes, giving up a piece for 2 pawns? 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 pawns for the piece. One of them is pretty close and it's defended, and also the rook is now hanging. So, phew. Queen g4 according to Stockfish. Queen g4. That's an incredibly complicated position. The right thing for engines. So this is one option. This is possible in the Rui. Queen g4. I would now grab this, and after takes I would grab it like that. Let's say bishop takes. b5, queen here, knight a4, castles, knight takes, pawn takes. No, this is all not possible. The queen is hanging. After bishop g4, you can go, let's say, queen here. Then castles. b5. b5, pawn takes. This is also quite possible because of rook there, threatening mate. I'm not sure if this is possible because the king can escape via f6. So bishop here, just bishop there. Now let's take queen. Bad stuff. So bishop takes, queen, bishop takes, queen d2, castles, b5, bishop b3, knight a4, rook there, and it's over on the h file. So I'm not sure. Oh, we have moves. Not knight e3, knight g3, not b5, h6, g4 takes, knight takes, d4, h4 takes, knight takes, rook takes, de takes, queen g4, no, also not bishop takes, queen there, and bishop there, threatening mate. Now you have to grab this piece. So it's just a different move order. You have to take the rook now. There is no other move. Bishop takes h5. So this, that, this, that. But now it's black's move. Takes. Knight here. Castles. Knight takes. Pawn takes. c4. Bishop here. d5. It's actually not so clear how to make this. This is a good little winning tempo winning sequence. That you have to eliminate that piece. Also, bishop d1 is also an option. Knight c4 anyway. Bishop there. Queen b2. Castles. Knight c4. It looks good, but after that, bishop here and bishop there is immediately checkmate. So bishop d1 with the idea bishop e6 is an option, but we currently are on that position and we will see this position. And after bishop takes g5, there is this knight e5. What? knight c6. Knight c6 to a5. According to Stockfish, castles, and queen e6. And queen e6. Queen e6, rook h1, f6, rook h1, f6. Bishop here, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, queen here, check. No, this is, and there is also a mate threat on c2, so this is not on. So bishop takes f6. f6 is a major concern here. Let's see both evaluations. Stockfish is on +9, Houdini is on +5, so it should be winning. f6, bishop e3. What? f6, bishop g5, e3. Yeah. What about just grabbing this one? Knight f5. Okay, there is this check, that check, this check, that check, this check, and bishop going back, and now there is no more check. So let's give a token move, rook here. Knight takes check. Rook here, knight there, double check, rook there, check over there, and mate. So this is one option. The other one is to take the knight, and after check, you needed to take that rook to have this square, because if you go there, it's made immediately. But if you go there, then it's check. I wouldn't do that. Going there, check. If you go here, then check, and it's mate next move. So you kind of have to go there. But now check, checkmate. So as simple as that. Don't know if this will be the game continuation, probably not, but let's see where we are here. So we have the mate threat currently on the board. I'm a little bit far ahead here. So bishop takes, bishop takes. This is the current board position, and it's a disgusting position for black. I can say so. Queen takes knight f5 is also an option, but we will have bishop takes and knight a5. Bishop takes g5 and d2 check. And d2 check. Yeah, I would take it with the king. Whatever, queen here check, king there. And it's perfectly, not sure, knight here check. King there. Now the queen is attacked. as well as a knight, so the knight needs to go back. And now rook here threatening mate, f6. Knight there, pawn takes. Knight here, check. No, in that case it doesn't work. In that case it doesn't work because you can block with the queen. Otherwise it works, but in that case it doesn't. So f5 takes. Queen here, check. King there. Queen. Knight here, check. King there. No, it's just simple as that. It doesn't work that way. So d2 is a... yeah, it's desperate. It's desperation. Already before it was desperation. So this g4, g5 is quite interesting, and it should probably be winning. No, knight d4, the other option, other desperate looking move. Just c takes d4, c5. c5, king d2, c5, king d2. Because if you castle there, it prevents from no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Takes, because the bishop still covers that square, so you can also castle kingside here, queenside. So it's just not good of a position here. So g4 kind of refutes this, not refutes, but how to actually play this. Knight f1 castles, g4, bishop there, knight g3, h6, g5 anyway, bishop takes, knight takes g5, d5 takes. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's just game over now for white. Here knight takes, rook takes. This is wrong. Bishop h7 should have been considered there. Knight takes, knight takes. Probably I would go knight takes here. Knight f6. Queen there, knight takes, queen takes, f5. Bishop b3 check. King there. And queen f3. b5, I would still go rook h1 here. Oh, bishop f6 is also nice. Bishop f6 is, I think, immediately winning, because bishop f6 is just such a knight takes, rook takes, ed, queen g4, queen c8, rook there, bishop takes, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, knight d4 takes, c4, no, not castles, king d2, b5, and bishop f6 is just an instant killer, because if you take, there is rook here, and now I can even take that one, it doesn't matter. It prevents f6 radically, and if you take the bishop, then you go there, and no defense anymore against queen h8. So bishop f6 is, I think, resignation now. It's resignation time, mate in 7, announced by Stockfish. So it's really great. Queen here. No, not queen here. You don't take it. Queen here, and now knight f5. What's the deal here? Oh, because after queen takes there is still rook there, and the knight is covering that square, and now the queen is blocking f6. So yeah, it's funny, but it's over. The only thing you can do is block with the queen, but now the g-pawn is missing, so it doesn't really matter what to play here. This is mate, so it's nice, and it's over. It's over. Unbelievable. But Houdini 1.5a got crushed like nothing. It's just so, it was just such a great attack after just such a hack attack, great hack attack. So this was the game, shortly reviewed. Yeah, here g4, the first. Knight g3 is, according to lower rated engines, the best moves, but g4 is also nice. b5 h6 is not in the books here. Has this position ever reached before? No, never. When was the last time it was reached? Knight g3 played one time. The books, no book. So knight g4, h6, this kind of stuff. Okay, takes. I really want to see what happens if bishop h7. If bishop h7, new variation, and we would have d takes. And what about queen takes now? Bishop takes d1, rook a8, bishop e3, knight f1, knight takes, king takes, bishop c2. Okay, bishop pair and open g-file. So still some attacking options for white, but it should be playable for black. What happened in the game was just a massacre. Rook takes, pawn takes, queen g4, queen c8, queen h4, bishop takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, and now knight d4, pawn takes c4, king here b5, bishop f6 is mate in 6, mate in 7, bishop f6, queen here, knight f5, rook there, bishop takes, threatening mate. So the only way of stopping this is that. Threatening mate again, stopping mate, threatening mate with the knight, can't be stopped. Knight here is mate. So it's incredible, but that's the case. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.